Hey, what's going on, peeps? This is Gian from Daniel and Gian Talk S. I'm not going to say the S after some newfound YouTube policies, apparently, if we ever want to make it big. That's neither here nor there. But I wanted to talk a little bit about the USC Alabama debacle in Dallas from last Saturday, and a little bit about tomorrow's game against Utah State. I mean, what can we say about last Saturday? It was ugly. It was embarrassing. I don't know. Kind of proved that maybe, well, it's not a maybe. It proves that Clay Helton's a little bit in over his head. I mean, what were you doing the past year with this team? You knew this game was coming up. You had 9 months to prepare for this game, and that's what you showed us on Saturday? I feel like I watched the same game that I've been watching from this USC coaching staff for the past 5 or 6 years. Because what it comes down to is Clay Helton was on the staff with Lane Kiffin when Kiffin got hired back in 2010. He was there for Sarkisian. He's there now. He was the guy calling plays. Well, Sarkisian allegedly called the plays from the sideline, but Helton was in charge of calling plays for the past 5-6 years, and it looked exactly the same, and we wanted to blame Sarkisian and we wanted to blame Kiffin, but I mean, obviously they had a part to do with it. They designed the offense, but I just don't see anything different from what we've been seeing, and it's just a waste of talent. Our offensive line, which is bigger and stronger than Alabama's defensive line, couldn't get any push. From what I've been hearing, the linemen were spaced too far apart, and Alabama's quicker, more athletic D linemen just shot through those gaps every time. So we could never establish a running game. And I mean, I wasn't expecting us to get 4, 5, 6 yards of carry against Alabama, but I expected them to get 3.5, at least enough to set up the pass, which I personally feel is Alabama's biggest weakness. But that never happened. We kept running the same stupid, ineffective plays. T. Martin, for example, I don't know why he has a job as an offensive coordinator. Some people seem to forget how big a job USC is. There are 4 major programs, like 4 or 5 historical programs in the nation for college football. It's Alabama, USC, Notre Dame, Ohio State, and maybe Michigan. You could throw Michigan in there. But other than that, these are the classic teams that we've been watching for the past, 60 years maybe. Before cable television, you could only get whatever games were on NBC, CBS, or ABC, the 3 major networks. And guess who was playing? Those 5 teams. Those were the only teams you're watching. So you had kids from other states rooting for Notre Dame, rooting for USC, wanting to go to Ohio State because it was the only team they got to watch. They had no idea that these other universities existed. Now, within the last 15 to 20 years, college football has turned into this huge thing where everybody knows every program now, maybe it's just the BCS, because even before the BCS, which I hated, by the way, but even before the BCS, people cheered for the classic Big Ten versus Pac-10 rivalry in the Rose Bowl and so on and so forth, the conference lined up bowl games. That's what people got excited for back in the day. And now, we're excited about the whole thing. But I just went off on a tangent there, so let's ignore that. But back to USC. Yeah, T. Martin, I don't know why he's the offensive coordinator. I can call better plays than him. I play enough Madden. I don't get it. One of the biggest things about the play calling, too, was they ran the read option a few times. Max Brown is a statue. He's got concrete in his feet. He's not fast. So why would you run the read option? And for those of you that don't know what the read option is, you line up in a shotgun or pistol, and pistol is just like, it's a shotgun. It's like half a shotgun. But anyways, you lean up, you line up far away from the center snaps it, you have your running back to the side, either side, and depending on what side, the quarterback has to make a read. He's got to look and see if the defensive end or outside linebacker is making a play, he crashes in to make a play towards the running back, or he's going up the field to contain the quarterback. So if he crashes in to get to the running back, the quarterback keeps the ball and he runs. If he goes up for contain, he hands the ball off. That's the read option. But everybody on that field knew that Max Brown would never keep the ball, so why would you run that play? And it's not going to set up a play action later either. 'Cause Max Brown is not a dual threat quarterback. He's a classic pocket passer. You know, he may be successful in the next level. I don't know. From Saturday's game, my hopes aren't high about him. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Sam Darnold sooner than later. Defensively, we're okay. You know, we kept Alabama in check for the most part, other than some classic blown coverages a la Wilcox. I don't know how much that has to do with personnel or bad play calling. You know, I feel like, you know, Biggie Marshall did not have his best game. Adoree was great. Our safeties are still mediocre at best. I'm not a fan of our safeties, but what can you do? But I think the defense did okay. They were aggressive. I mean, they forced Nick Saban to take out his quarterback and put in the true freshman, who did hurt us with his legs. Another classic problem with the USC defenses of the past 5 or 6 years. You know, but we'll see what happens moving forward. Man, I just can't get off this offense. Our receivers not getting separation. I mean, you know what? A lot of that has to do with the running game. We weren't able to establish the run, so the defense is able to sit back and wait for the pass. There's not much you can do about that, you know, if you can't run the ball. Would like to go back to power formations, bring in a fullback and just pound the ball up the middle. Use that beef we have in the offensive line, and hopefully the offensive linemen get a little tougher and more aggressive. That's me, what I feel personally. You know, I don't think we have the personnel to run a spread modern offense, you know, a fast up-tempo college football offense myself. We don't even have like a legitimate dual threat quarterback, but it is what it is. I'm not in charge. I'm not making the calls. I will say that if Clay Helton keeps keeps the team playing the way it is, he's not going to have a job. You know, I don't know if he's going to last the season, but I don't know who we're going to get either. A lot of people think that we should make a play for Tom Herman. I agree, but at the same time, I'm looking at the numbers. I don't see it happening, you know. It's going to cost. If the University of Houston becomes a Power 5 team, Tom Herman gets a $5 million bonus. He already signed a $15 million contract over 5 years. That's $20 million. Then you got to include the staff. USC's going to, basically what I'm saying is USC's going to have to buy out Herman's contract. He's going to have to buy out all his assistants' contracts on top of what they're going to have to pay him. So it could end up costing the university close to $60 million, which I think they should do. But is Nikias going to be okay with that? Is the board that doesn't feature Pat Hayden anymore going to be okay with that? I don't know. I really don't. Who knows? Honestly, other than Tom Herman, you know, we dropped the ball with Chris Peterson. Thanks, Pat Hayden. Up in Washington. And Washington, I mean, it's only one game into the season, but they beat us last year and they're looking better. So I'm not holding my breath, man. This season's already one game in, and man, it is not going to be a fun season. On to Saturday's game. My senior year, we played Utah State and beat them 17-14. And we only beat them because the punter muffed the kick and gave us the ball on the 40-yard line. And I don't remember if we scored a touchdown or kicked a field goal, but it was an ugly game. And I think we scored on defense. We didn't score on offense that game. So, you know, the same coach. Utah State's coach is good, man. He's not going to be there long. He's going to be, I could see his next job being at, you know, maybe like a Maryland or a Colorado, something like that, like a Power 5 team that's on the lower end. And if he can get them respectable to 7-5, 8-4 team, you know, then maybe he's got what it takes to coach one of the bigger programs. But he knows what he's doing, and his staff has this team well coached. They're not the best players talent-wise, but they do what they're told. They're more disciplined than we are, and they're going to give us fits. That's my guess, especially if we call the same plays that we did against Alabama. That's really what it comes down to. Vegas has the game as USC 16-point favorites. That's ridiculous. If I'm 16.5, actually. If I'm you guys, all you bettors out there, I think I'm putting money on Utah State. Basically, Utah State will win you a bet because they're not going to lose by 17 points. They got a good defense. I mean, they lost a lot of players, but they still got a good defense. Their running game, I mean, they played an FCS team last Saturday, but they still put up 400 yards. So I'm going to say that their running game is decent, you know. They have, in the last 5-6 years, 3 of their running backs are in the NFL. Robert Turbin, I think he's still with the Seahawks. I'm not sure, but that's one guy that's in the NFL. So this guy's able to find quality running backs. They know what they're doing. I'm not worried about us on defense as much as I am on offense. As the last 6 years have proven, when USC is behind, they don't come back. For what Clay Helton's playbook does not help you if you're already losing the game. I'd be worried. Don't be shocked if the Trojans lose this weekend, because I'm not going to be. As for the game itself, I won't be going there because I have some Disneyland obligations. And 11 o'clock, Pac-12 network is ridiculous. That's kind of showing me how far the USC brand has fallen. that we're playing an 11 o'clock game that's not even on any sort of national television network. You know, Pac-12, the Pac-12 network, nobody has it. I think the last time I heard, like, DirecTV is 70% of people's cable subscribers. You can't even watch it at the bar because nobody has Time Warner or anything else. Everybody has DirecTV because they make their money on the NFL ticket. I don't know if I'm going to be watching the game tomorrow at all. You know, I'm going to have to recap after I look at the box score, maybe download the game if I can find it. So I wanted to leave you with this. You know, it's going to be a long season. We have a lot of work to do, specifically on offense. I'm hoping for the best, but not going to get my hopes up. Prediction for tomorrow's game, I'm going to say USC wins 19-9. So I'm going to say they have a 10-point victory. Utah State's going to get 3 field goals, and we're going to score 19 somehow. You can come up. So 19-9, my final prediction. Thanks for watching. Make sure to follow us at DNG Podcast on Twitter. You can follow me on Twitter at BertoP510. All this will be in the description, so make sure you subscribe, like, follow us on iTunes, follow us on SoundCloud, follow us on Stitcher, like us on Facebook. Yeah, we're going to be recording a podcast tonight about some non-sports stuff, so I hope you guys listen when we put it up Sunday or Monday. And that's going to do it. Fight on.